everybody. Welcome to our Sunday talk show, The World This Week. Political sensation in India. President-elect Modi decimated the Nehru-Gandhi dynasty and the ruling Congress party in the biggest election victory in 30 years. Over 300 dead in Turkey's mine disaster, and Prime Minister Erdogan is on the spot again. According to press reports, President Obama is said to blame Israel for the peace talks' collapse in the Middle East. And no end in sight to the Boko Haram violence in Nigeria. These are some of the issues we'll touch upon this Sunday. As we said, there's no end in sight to the Boko Haram violence in Nigeria. We've asked African journalist Luis Camus to give us his perspective. He joins us from I-24 News Studios in Paris. Hello, Mr. Camus.
Hello.
Please give us some sense as to how bad is the violence in Nigeria these days.
The fact is that since the military have decided to let civilians rule the country, there was a law right and nowhere, but respected by everyone, that when the president is Muslim, his vice president should be, the deputy president should be a Christian, and that is for only a term. And after the term, they should inverse the priority. And when the first president, when Goodluck Jonathan was vice president, died, he became president, and all the Muslims were expecting him not to become president after that term. That's why they are angry in the northern part of the country, and they had many politicians who were very tolerant concerning Boko Haram members, and they let them do everything they wanted to do up to now. And after a certain time, Boko Haram tried to emancipate, and that's what happened now. They have emancipated from the authority of those politicians. No one can control them anymore, and that's why they are becoming very dangerous for the security of the state, not only for the federal authority of Nigeria. That's what is going on now.
Tell us, how rooted, how strong is this Islamist movement in Nigeria and in Africa in general these days?
No one knows precisely how strong they are, but the fact is that they've gained a lot of money with the hostages they've been kidnapping from Western countries, probably have been released after paying some money, and that money has helped them in buying some arms, in organizing the terrorism in the northern part of Nigeria. So no one really knows how powerful they are. Now Nigeria had decided they will be calling Occidental countries, I mean France, USA, Britain, and Canada, and they will probably say all the Western countries we are considering as haram are coming to us. They are our real enemies. It is not Goodluck Jonathan. Goodluck Jonathan is only a pretext. So we should fight them by all the means, and that is the risk we are facing now by the help that will be given to Nigeria through the partners, the Western partners.
Would you say that there's a religious war going on in Africa?
No, it's not a religious war, because Africans are probably 50% Christians, 50% Muslims, but they are 100% enemies. So I don't think it's a matter of religion. But it's a matter of power now. It's a matter of power that is decreasing in a terrorist act. And that is what we should have to fight. In Nigeria, in northern part of Nigeria, in Mali, and in Central African Republic.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any guess as to how this crisis with Boko Haram will end up?
Very difficult to predict what will happen from now going, but I'm sure there is a need to fight them by all the military and by all the violence possible, because the only language they can understand now is the language of violence. I think it is not very kind what I'm saying, but we have to exterminate them in Nigeria.
We are talking about really thousands of people that have been killed. Where does it come from, this hate and violence?
The fact is, they have been instrumentalized at the beginning by politician leaders of the northern part who are Muslim. They thought that should help them in disturbing the federal power. But now they have lost control on the Boko Haram movement. So it has become a very big security problem for Nigeria. And the neighboring countries, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon, haven't done better. When they are facing that issue of Boko Haram, they generally arrest those who are concerned and then transfer them to Nigeria. So they have no risk with that. When they are fighting them very violently in Nigeria, they know they can have an issue by crossing the country. There is no control at the borders there. So the fact is, if they are fighting them in northern Nigeria, they should do the same in the neighboring countries, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon, with the same violence, with the same determination, and I think that is the only way they should have a result in fighting Boko Haram in the northern part of Nigeria.
Mm-hmm. Well, journalist Louis Camus in Paris, France, thank you very much. Mobile technology is changing everything, and more so in China. Cheap smartphones bring the internet even to remote villages, and millions join the frenzy every day. Our correspondent in Beijing is Nofrat Porat. Hello, Nofrat.
Good evening, Jacob.
What drives this surge in mobile use in China?
Like we see all over the world, there's a huge migration of people from PC to tablet or to their smartphones. And the same thing is happening here in China. But what makes a difference here is that people in the countryside can now buy the phone. With the price standing at about $268 for a smart mobile phone that's made by China, people have now access to the internet for the first time in their lives for some people. And they can buy products that they didn't have near their house. They can go on the web, surf, and actually buy groceries, buy clothes, buy everything they want.
What are they buying now?
They're buying everything that they can from the mobile phone. From their weekly shopping to clothes. Anything they want, they can buy from the mobile phone, as companies are making their applications easier to use and to buy from mobile phones. One of these applications is WeChat, something that we know a bit better as WhatsApp. But on WeChat, they developed it a bit further, and it's now like an electronic wallet. You can buy and pay for everything through that application. You can buy movie tickets, you can order a taxi and pay for it, you can go to a restaurant and pay through the WeChat, a friend can order it, you can pay back friends, you can invest through WeChat. It's an application, it's an electronic wallet, and you can do it all from your mobile phone.
What about theft and hacking? Chinese users are not worried about that?
Yes, people trust the company.
Oh.
They're not worried about losing their bank details, like you're not worried about checking your online details on the bank or buying things on Amazon. The same thing, they're using WeChat, and the young generation is using it for everything. Some of them don't even carry a wallet anymore. If they're speaking among friends and a friend sends them a link of a nice shirt, they can, with one click, buy it through the same application. It's amazing how it's changing, and people are becoming more and more aware of what they can do through their mobile phone, and it is the up and coming next market. Because if you look around, all the companies are trying to make their applications on the mobile phone the easiest to use and the friendliest for the people.
Nofrat in Beijing, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, new technology changed everything that we knew about dating, or matchmaking for that matter. With us now is Mr. Joe Shapira, founder of JDate, the well-known website that caters to Jewish singles around the world. Hello, Mr. Shapira.
Hello, good evening.
And now you are involved with a new singles venture that we'll speak about momentarily. Tell me, first of all, how do people decide to connect online?
So, it really depends. Guys look at photos, and that's the first thing that they are attracted to. Women are more attracted to what you have to say about yourself and the vocabulary that you use, kind of your emotional intelligence.
So women are more into the idea and men are more into the pictures.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And now let's talk a little bit about JDate. How did this really made a revolution in matchmaking as we knew in the Jewish world?
So back in the old days, in 1996, when I started JDate, it was completely revolutionary. And not only was the concept was revolutionary, the idea of using a dating service, any kind of dating service, was kind of not admired. There was a stigma. Why should I use a dating service? You know, I'm doing fine on my own. But once, you know, the thing is that all of a sudden, people meet other people and they start going on dates, and each one of them has friends, and they tell their friends, and that thing spread like a wildfire.
And now with Fix, we're talking really instant meeting around the block. How does that work?
So Fix is an entirely different product. Fix is very current. Its target audience is singles between the ages of 20 to 40. It's fast. The registration, it takes a second, as opposed to answering 50 or 60 questions on JDate. So you can meet people that are practically around you. And you go in, and it ranks the people by distance, and then you click on someone that you like, and you can start chatting with them, just like in WhatsApp, right away.
You know, some people say, you know, what happens to romance? It's all very mechanical, technical. What do you think?
There's different kind of romance today. You know, no one is gonna buy a flower and give it to a girl that's sitting in a coffee shop. That's not gonna happen like 50 or 60 years ago. Young people today, they are much more. They want immediate gratification, and they want to expand their horizons. But at the end of the day, you know, many of these dates that resulted from online or mobile dating end up in a wedding. So the end result is pretty much the same.
So bottom line, we're going to have a wedding and children, no matter what kind of application it starts with.
At the end of the day, that's what's going to happen, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Joe Shapiro, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening.
Filming wildlife is changing alongside technology. British photographer Will Burrard-Lucas is a pioneer and inventor in this evolving field. He joins us now from London. Hello, Will.
Hi, Jacob.
Let's hear it. How do you use technology to get even more beautiful pictures?
So I'm a wildlife photographer, and as part of that, I try and photograph animals in new ways so that I can get photos that people haven't seen before. And one of the ways I like to try and do that is to get my camera really close to the wild animals and use a wide-angle lens to show them in their environment. But in order to do this with dangerous animals in Africa, for example, you can't just walk up to them. So I've invented a range of remote cameras that allow me to remotely control the position of the camera and move them towards the animals, and then photograph them from a nice close distance.
So how does it work? You hide somewhere in the vicinity and drive this little car remotely?
Yeah, so I'll be in a safari vehicle, and I'll drive around and find the animals, and then I'll generally be maybe 50 meters away, and then deploy the beetle cam and drive that the rest of the way towards them. Or often I'll just drive it a short distance away from the vehicle, and then the animal's curiosity is aroused by this object moving, so it'll then come up to the beetle cam to check it out.
So that's how you get these very unusual pictures.
Yes, exactly. A lot of them show the sort of inquisitive nature of the predators and things.
Yeah, well, did you lose a lot of equipment that way?
So I've been doing this for about 5 years now, and in the early days, obviously I was still learning and experimenting, and the first version of the beetle cam had no protective shell. And the very first time I used it on a lion, looking back, it was very predictable what happened. The lion came straight up to it, decided to bite it to try and see what it was, and put her teeth straight through the back of the camera. So I lost a camera early on, but then since then I've developed this protective shell. So fortunately, since I've been using that, I haven't lost any more cameras.
Yeah. Well, and the next thing is your Beetlecopter, right?
Yeah, so for the last about 9 months, I've been sort of developing my own remote control copters for obviously aerial photography and filming. And there's a lot of sort of existing solutions out there, but they're all very noisy and not really suited for filming wildlife, because obviously the wildlife can get scared off by the noise. So I've had to do some development trying to make my copters as quiet as possible. So I've been making good progress, and then in just at the end of last year, I went to the Serengeti in Tanzania and used these copters to film the migration and some other animals, and got some really promising results there.
Yeah, Sure. So what's next? What would be your next fantasy?
There's a lot. So I'm still improving the remote copters. So there's a lot more I want to do with that. I'm doing stuff with camera traps as well. So these are stationary cameras with triggers that sense when an animal walks past. So I can leave them on a forest trail for a week at a time, and then that's the sort of the best way to get really shy nocturnal animals, because obviously you can't wait for 7 days solidly for him to pass. So the camera does all the work then. And there's other remote devices, like maybe aquatic versions and things that might be in the pipeline, but it's finding enough time to do it all is the challenge.
Well, good luck, and thank you very much, Will.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, nice talking.
And this has been The World This Week. We'll see you here next Sunday. Have a great week.